The galaxy had always believed it was safe. Civilized. Governed by rules, treaties, and careful diplomacy. But no one noticed the cracks forming behind the polished masks of its leaders. On a distant observation platform, orbiting the star Clyra 9, Commander Sorrel scanned the vast expanse with unease. Sensors had picked up a strange signal, faint and irregular, moving against the flow of known trade routes. Something was out there, something that should not exist. "Report again, Lieutenant," Sorrel ordered, his voice calm but tight. The young officer hesitated, tapping the console nervously. "Sir, the readings, they don't match any known vessels. It's as if it's alive." Sorrel frowned, gripping the edge of the viewport. He had seen many things in his 20 years in the fleet. Pirates, rogue AI, even a few uncharted black holes, but nothing like this. The signal pulsed in irregular patterns, sometimes disappearing for minutes, only to reappear farther away, faster than anything humanity or the other civilizations could explain. Meanwhile, across the galaxy in the capital of the Valkyr Dominion, the Grand Council gathered. Holographic displays showed fleets in motion, trade routes shifting, and intelligence reports piling up. But the council members were preoccupied with appearances, with politics, with maintaining the illusion of order. No one truly looked beyond the surface. They did not see what was coming. Back on Clyra 9, Sorrel made a decision. He activated the long-range scanners and zoomed in on the anomaly. What appeared first was just a glimmer, like a shard of light reflecting in space. But as the image sharpened, Sorrel's stomach sank. It was a ship, but unlike any ship known. Its hull was smooth and black, reflecting the stars as if it were part of the void. No markings, no symbols, no weapons visible. And yet, the sensors registered immense energy radiating from it. Something in its design seemed almost intelligent. "Sir," Lieutenant Taryn whispered, voice shaking. "It's moving. It's heading this way." Sorrel didn't answer immediately. He stared at the image, noting every detail. The readings confirmed it. The vessel was accelerating, faster than any known propulsion. And it was not random. Every movement was precise, deliberate, almost strategic. A cold realization settled over him. "Prepare the fleet," Sorrel said quietly. "If this is what I think it is, we're not ready." Within hours, the situation escalated. Messages were sent across the galactic network. Flags of caution were raised. But the world outside Clyra 9 remained calm, deceived by the familiar pace of life and the comforting illusion that all was well. The galaxy had forgotten that power could be quiet and patient, and deadly. As night fell over the observation platform, Sorrel watched the approaching shape in silence. He could feel the tension in the air, the way every metal surface in the station seemed to vibrate with anticipation. His crew avoided eye contact, each one pretending to be busy while their hands trembled slightly. Then, without warning, the vessel stopped. Its dark hull seemed to hover in space like a predator assessing its prey. The sensors went wild, unable to keep up with the energy readings, which now spiked beyond safe limits. Lights flickered across the station as the energy waves washed over the hull of the observation platform. "Shields at maximum. All weapons ready," Sorrel shouted, though even he doubted their effectiveness. Conventional weapons might as well have been toys against whatever this thing was. The vessel emitted a sound, low and resonant, not audible in the normal human range. The station's communication systems picked it up as a strange distortion, a message that no one could understand, yet somehow filled every mind with unease. Every crew member felt it, a warning, a promise, a shadow of something unstoppable. Sorrel's eyes narrowed. "It's not here to negotiate," he muttered. "It's here to reveal the truth." And in that instant, the illusion of the galaxy's civility shattered. The polished mask that every civilization wore, the delicate balance of power, the pride in their fleets and weapons, all of it was meaningless. Something ancient and powerful had returned, something that saw through every lie and pretense. The platform trembled. Alarms screamed. And as the dark vessel hovered silently, like a predator waiting to strike, Sorrel realized the truth. The galaxy had believed it was civilized, but now the mask was cracking, and nothing would ever be the same again. Somewhere deep in space, the vessel moved slightly, almost imperceptibly. A single pulse of light flashed along its hull, reaching across the void like a finger pointing at every world. And the galaxy understood, too late, that the reckoning had begun. The dark vessel did not move for long. Hours passed in tense silence aboard the Clyra 9 observation platform. Every crew member stared at the black shape in the distance, their breaths shallow, their hearts hammering. No one dared speak. Outside, the stars twinkled as if nothing had changed, hiding the terror slowly creeping across the galaxy. Commander Sorrel paced the control room, his mind racing. He had sent every alert he could to nearby fleets, to planetary defenses, even to the Central Galactic Council. Yet, replies were slow, confused, filled with disbelief. The galaxy had grown comfortable, and comfort was a dangerous enemy. "Sir," Lieutenant Taryn said, finally breaking the silence. "It's scanning us. Look at the readings. It's not firing, not attacking, but it's measuring everything." Sorrel stepped forward, squinting at the console. The sensors showed subtle waves moving from the vessel, passing through space like invisible fingers. The readings were unlike anything the fleet had ever seen, matter bending slightly, energy pulses that didn't obey normal physics. "It's testing us," he said quietly. "Trying to understand what we are, and what we can do." For the first time, a tremor of fear crept into Sorrel's voice. "Prepare the escape protocols. If it decides to strike, we won't survive." But the crew hesitated. Some shook their heads, refusing to accept the idea of fleeing. Pride, duty, or perhaps denial kept them rooted. Sorrel understood, humans rarely ran from the unknown, but he could not afford hesitation now. Suddenly, the vessel pulsed a bright light. It was not blinding, but it seemed to pierce the souls of everyone on the platform. The sensors went haywire. Alarms screamed. Consoles flickered. And then, a single word, translated roughly by the ship's interference systems, appeared on the screens: "Observe." "Observe," Taryn repeated, bewildered. "It's speaking to us?" Sorrel clenched his fists. "No. Not speaking. Commanding. It's forcing us to watch." At that moment, the vessel's hull shimmered, revealing something the crew could hardly comprehend. Inside the light, fleeting images appeared. Scenes from countless worlds, civilizations rising and falling, fleets destroyed without warning, planets scarred by wars that no one remembered. The vessel displayed history like a living library, but one that carried a warning. This is insane," whispered one technician. "It's showing us everything. The mistakes. The lies. The destruction we think we avoid." Sorrel's jaw tightened. He realized the horrifying truth. The vessel was not just powerful, it was patient, calculating, ancient. It had seen countless civilizations, each believing in its own civility, only to be torn apart. And now, it had reached the galaxy that thought itself safe. The platform shook as if reacting to the images, though no force touched it. The crew felt every pulse, every memory, every fear. Sorrel could see panic growing in their eyes. Some whispered prayers. Others stared in frozen disbelief. Yet he held himself steady, gripping the console like it could anchor him against the storm of terror. "Sir," Taryn said, voice trembling. It's moving closer. Not attacking, but closer." Sorrel swallowed. "It wants proximity. It wants us to see more clearly." He looked out the viewport again. The black hull seemed enormous now, stretching across the distance like a shadow swallowing the stars. And then, a part of it separated, a smaller craft, identical in design but faster, sharper, and more purposeful. "Boarding vessel," Sorrel whispered. "It's coming for us, or to examine something on the station." The crew rushed to prepare, though Sorrel knew they were outmatched. Conventional defenses were useless against an intelligence this vast, this ancient. Every weapon, every shield, every tactic they had practiced for decades was meaningless. They were children in front of a storm older than the galaxy. And yet, fear mixed with something else, curiosity. A part of the human mind could not look away from the unknown. It was the same part that had made humans explorers, fighters, survivors. And Sorrel, despite every warning screaming in his mind, felt it rise within him. "Open a channel," he ordered. "Let's see what it wants. If it communicates, we listen. If it attacks, we survive as long as we can." Static filled the room. Then, a deep, resonant tone. Words formed, simple but heavy with authority. "Truth is not in your leaders. Truth is in your courage. Witness what you cannot ignore." Sorrel felt a chill run down his spine. The galaxy believed it was safe, civilized, strong, but this vessel saw through everything. It could strip pretense from worlds like peeling paint. And now, it had chosen them to witness the first crack. Outside, the smaller craft hovered over the station, almost gentle, almost studying. But every human on the platform knew better. Nothing that moved with such precision and power was innocent. The question lingered, heavy and suffocating. What will it do next? And in the darkness beyond the stars, the larger vessel waited, silent and unyielding, its purpose unknown, but its presence alone enough to shatter the illusions the galaxy had built over centuries. The human crew of Clyra 9 understood one terrifying fact: the mask the galaxy wore was breaking. And whatever truth lay beneath it, it was coming for them first. The smaller craft hovered silently over the observation platform. Its black hull reflected the stars like a mirror, cold and unreadable. Inside, the crew of Clyra 9 could feel a presence, heavy and watching. No one moved. Every step, every breath seemed loud in the tense silence. Commander Sorrel watched the craft, his hands gripping the console so tightly his knuckles turned white. "Maintain calm," he said, though his voice betrayed the fear he felt. "Do not provoke it. Do not assume it will attack. Yet." Lieutenant Taryn hesitated, then asked, "Sir, what is it? A ship? A weapon? Or something else?" Sorrel shook his head. "I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not like anything we've ever faced. And it's patient. It doesn't strike until it wants to." The crew stared at the vessel, and then slowly, images appeared on the station's main display. Scenes of destruction, worlds burned, civilizations broken. Each image lasted only seconds, yet left a deep impression. The smaller craft was showing them history, millions of years of rise and fall across the galaxy. It was not random, it was deliberate. One technician whispered, voice trembling, "It's teaching us, warning us, or judging us." Sorrel did not respond immediately. He realized the truth: the galaxy had been blind. While they thought themselves advanced, safe, and civilized, there had always been forces far beyond their understanding. Forces that watched, calculated, and waited for mistakes. Suddenly, the smaller craft moved closer to the platform. No sound, no warning, just a gentle, smooth glide. The crew felt the gravity of its presence, a pressure that seemed to press on their minds. Equipment began acting strangely. Lights flickered. Sensors went haywire. Even the station's AI, normally flawless, struggled to maintain control. "Shields at maximum," Sorrel shouted. "Weapons ready, but keep them on standby. Don't fire unless absolutely necessary." Taryn nodded, but her hands shook. "Sir, it's scanning us. Reading us. Everything. Our fears, our thoughts." Sorrel felt a chill. He realized this craft was more than a vessel. It was alive in some way, intelligent, aware, able to see deeper than any sensor. "It wants to understand us. Every strength, every weakness." Then, without warning, the craft projected a beam of soft light onto the platform. The images it showed were different now, personal. Memories, emotions, fears, and courage of every crew member. It was like someone had reached inside their minds, touching what they kept hidden even from themselves. Sorrel felt his own past laid bare, the battles, the choices, the regrets he had tried to forget. And in those flashes, he saw a truth. The galaxy believed it was orderly and safe, but it was fragile, corrupt, and blind. The vessel pulsed again, a low vibration that resonated through the bones of everyone aboard. Then a message, simple and clear, appeared in the station's main display. Civilization masks itself. Truth waits. Do you see it? Sorrel swallowed hard. Yes, he whispered. I see it. The smaller craft then moved back, and the images disappeared. But the tension remained. The crew looked at each other, eyes wide, trying to process what they had seen. None of them spoke for long moments. Then alarms screamed. A sudden warning flashed across the console. Multiple unknown signals approaching the platform from different directions. Sorrel's heart sank. The smaller craft was not alone. It had called something else, or revealed their position to others like it. Prepare for contact, Sorrel ordered. This is no longer observation. We may have to defend ourselves, though I don't know against what. As the seconds stretched, the platform shuddered. The stars outside seemed to twist, strange distortions appearing in the void. The crew felt the pressure rising, every nerve on edge. Something was coming, something vast, and the platform was tiny, insignificant. Then, a deep hum filled the station, not mechanical, not natural, but from somewhere beyond understanding. The smaller craft pulsed in rhythm with the hum, almost like a heartbeat, and then moved aside, revealing something behind it. Sorrel's breath caught. The larger vessel, the one that had first appeared, was emerging from the dark. Its immense size dwarfed the platform. The stars themselves seemed to bend around its hull. Energy radiated outward, visible even through space, and the sensors could barely measure its power. It's enormous, whispered Terran. How can anything that big even exist? Sorrel did not answer. His eyes were fixed on the dark silhouette. He understood the truth now. The galaxy had believed itself safe. It had believed in civility, in law, in order. But all of that was a mask, and now the mask was cracking. The vessel moved slowly, deliberately, toward the station. And in its shadow, Sorrel felt the weight of something that had waited eons to awaken. Something that had no patience for politics, no interest in treaties, no mercy for weakness. And yet, even as fear surged through him, Sorrel felt the spark that had always defined humanity: curiosity, courage, and defiance. The galaxy had been blind, but they still had a choice. The question was whether it would be enough. As the dark vessel loomed ever closer, the observation platform trembled, lights flickering violently. And then, as the hum grew louder, the crew understood a terrifying truth. The galaxy's illusion of civilization was over. The reckoning had begun. The larger vessel hovered above the Clyra, 9 platform like a mountain of darkness. Its sheer presence pressed on the minds of every crew member, making their thoughts scatter and their hearts pound. The smaller craft moved around the platform, inspecting, scanning, probing. There was no immediate attack, but that only made the tension worse. Commander Sorrel paced, eyes fixed on the vessels. "Status report," he barked. Lieutenant Terran's fingers flew over the controls. "Sir, sensors are overloaded. Energy readings are off the charts. Nothing in the database can compare. It's beyond comprehension." Sorrel clenched his jaw. He realized the terrifying truth. The galaxy had believed it was safe, civilized, and strong, but against this, it was helpless. Everything they had counted on, every weapon, every shield, every fleet, was meaningless. "Open a channel," Sorrel ordered. "We need to know what it wants. If it communicates, we listen. If it attacks, we survive as long as possible." The static on the channel was thick, buzzing in their ears. Then a deep, resonant voice echoed, not through sound waves, but inside their minds. "The mask cracks. Truth waits. Witness what you cannot deny." Sorrel felt a chill crawl up his spine. "Witness what? What truth?" he muttered. The smaller craft pulsed again, projecting images on the platform's walls and ceilings. This time, the images were different. Scenes of betrayal among civilizations, Fleets destroyed in seconds, entire planets wiped out while leaders argued about protocols. The vessel wasn't just showing history, it was revealing the lies each society had built for themselves. One of the technicians gasped. "Sir, it's showing us, our own mistakes. The things we ignored. The things we pretended didn't exist." Sorrel's eyes narrowed. "It wants to teach us, or punish us. I'm not sure which. But we cannot underestimate it." Suddenly, the smaller craft released a pulse of energy that struck the platform. Alarms screamed. Systems flickered. Shields glowed under strain. The crew felt a pressure on their chests as if the vessel's presence alone could crush them. "Status!" Sorrel shouted. "Shields holding, but barely." Terran yelled back. "We can't withstand much more." The larger vessel moved closer, a shadow stretching across the platform. Its hull shimmered as if alive, absorbing the faint starlight and radiating power in every direction. It did not attack physically, it didn't need to. Its presence alone was enough to terrify and dominate. Then the vessel pulsed again. A massive wave of energy rippled through space, touching nearby satellites, small ships, even distant planets. Communications went dead across the system. For a moment, Clyra, 9 was isolated, alone in front of something that had waited eons to test civilizations. Sorrel gritted his teeth. "We need to act. If it wants a response, we'll give it one. Human courage will not fail." The crew scrambled, activating experimental scanners, trying to record every pulse, every signal, every anomaly. It was like trying to capture a storm in a bottle. They worked with urgency, desperation, fear, and awe all at once. The smaller craft separated from the larger one and hovered near the docking bay. Its surface shifted, revealing what looked like an entrance. Sorrel knew immediately, this was a challenge. The vessel wanted observation, interaction, or maybe confrontation. And humans, by nature, could not resist curiosity. "Prepare a team," Sorrel ordered. "Suit up. We're going outside. We need to see what we're dealing with, up close." Terran shook her head. "Sir, it's suicide. There's no telling what waits out there." Sorrel met her gaze. "I know. But we cannot hide. If we do nothing, the galaxy's mask will continue to crack elsewhere, and more worlds will fall before anyone realizes. Humanity faces the unknown, and we face it head-on. That is what we do." The team suited up. Airlocks sealed. The smaller craft pulsed one last time, almost as if acknowledging their courage, or their foolishness. Sorrel led the team into the docking bay, their boots echoing in the tense silence. Every step brought them closer to the black hull, closer to the unknown, and closer to the truth the galaxy had long ignored. As they reached the airlock of the smaller craft, a wave of cold energy washed over them. The air shimmered. Lights inside the vessel flickered in impossible patterns. And then, without warning, the entrance opened. Sorrel stepped forward. He knew that the moment they crossed that threshold, nothing would ever be the same. The galaxy had worn a mask of civilization for millennia, but now the mask was gone. The truth waited inside, and they were about to meet it face to face. Somewhere, deep within the larger vessel's shadow, a presence stirred. Patient, ancient, watching, and ready to test humanity in ways no one could predict. The countdown to revelation had begun. The airlock slid open with a hiss that sounded impossibly loud in the eerie silence. Commander Sorrel led the team onto the smaller craft, their boots clicking against the black, metallic floor. Every surface seemed alive, shifting slightly as if aware of their presence. The lights above pulsed softly, following their movement, yet revealing nothing. "Stay close," Sorrel whispered. "We don't know what this place is capable of." Lieutenant Terran scanned the walls with a handheld device. "Sir, it's absorbing energy from us, or maybe just observing. Readings are off the charts. Everything is alive." Sorrel nodded. "Then let it observe." We observe back. The crew moved forward, cautiously. The corridor seemed endless, but the design was strange, geometric yet organic, angles flowing in ways that should have been impossible. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Suddenly, the walls shimmered. Images appeared, not projected, but within the walls themselves, living history of countless civilizations. Entire fleets burning, planets splitting, leaders hiding behind lies while their worlds fell apart. The crew felt the weight of every failure, every betrayal. "It's showing us everything," murmured one technician. "The galaxy, all of it. All the mistakes we ignored." Sorrel's jaw tightened. "It's testing us, judging us. We need to stay calm." A pulse of energy swept through the corridor, knocking some of the crew off balance. But no one was injured. Instead, it left a lingering sense of clarity, as if the vessel wanted them to understand. Then, a voice filled the chamber. Not loud, but deep and resonant, echoing directly in their minds. "You see the cracks. You feel the weight of deception. Do you understand what must change?" Sorrel swallowed. "Yes. But what do you want from us?" No answer came, only another wave of images, this time of humanity. Earth, distant colonies, fleets, and hidden technologies. The vessel revealed secrets humans had long forgotten: experimental warships, classified weaponry, and records of conflicts the galaxy had never seen. Terran gasped. "Sir, it knows about our hidden capabilities. It knows we're stronger than most believe." Sorrel nodded grimly. "It sees everything. And it's showing us that strength alone is not enough." The corridor ended in a massive chamber. At its center, a pedestal of black metal glowed faintly. Around it, symbols floated in the air, rotating slowly. The team approached cautiously. Every instinct screamed to stay back, but human curiosity pushed them forward. As they neared the pedestal, a holographic figure appeared. It was humanoid in shape, yet undefined, shifting constantly like liquid metal. "The galaxy hides behind masks. Civilization is fragile. You humans have a choice," it said. Sorrel felt his heart race. "A choice? What choice? To continue as you have, blind to truth, or to act with understanding, courage, and unity. One action can change everything, or end everything." Terran whispered. "It's a test. A trial." Sorrel nodded. "Then we face it, together." Suddenly, the pedestal pulsed, and the chamber shifted. The walls expanded, and new corridors appeared, leading to unknown sections of the vessel. Each corridor seemed more alien than the last, but one path glowed slightly brighter, almost like it was guiding them. "Follow the light," Sorrel ordered. "This is what it wants. We go forward, no hesitation." The crew moved as one, hearts pounding, every sense alert. Outside the windows, the larger vessel loomed silently, patient, watching. Its presence reminded them that they were not alone, and that whatever lay ahead was part of a much larger plan. As they progressed, the vessel pulsed with energy, and the corridors seemed to react to their movement, opening doors, shifting walls, and guiding them deeper into its core. It was as if the craft itself had a consciousness, deciding what to reveal and what to hide. A sudden vibration ran through the floor. Alarms, soft but insistent, echoed in the minds of the crew. Sorrel turned to Terran. "Brace yourselves. Something is coming. This is the moment we see what we're truly up against." The shadows in the corridors deepened. Shapes flickered at the edges of their vision. The vessel had more to show, more to test. The team could feel the tension building, the weight of the unknown pressing against them. Sorrel took a deep breath. "We've come this far. Whatever waits, we face it. Humanity faces the truth. And we will not run." The glow ahead intensified, revealing a massive chamber, far larger than any human ship could contain. At its center, a singular source of energy pulsed like a heartbeat, radiating power that made the crew stagger. The larger vessel outside responded in kind, sending waves of energy that connected with the smaller craft. Sorrel realized the truth. They were witnessing a demonstration of unimaginable power, a force that could decide the fate of the galaxy in moments. And in that moment, the team understood, the galaxy's mask had been shattered. Humanity stood at the edge of revelation and reckoning, with choices that could either save or doom them. The vessel waited. Patient. Ancient. All-seeing. And now, the humans were inside its core. The massive chamber pulsed with energy, and the human crew stood at its center, hearts racing. Every light, every shadow seemed alive, shifting, watching. Commander Sorrel's eyes scanned the room, trying to make sense of the immense power around them. "Sir, this is beyond anything we've seen," Lieutenant Taryn whispered, voice trembling. "It's alive. It feels alive." Sorrel nodded, swallowing hard. "It's not just alive. It's aware. It knows everything we've done. Everything humanity has done. And it's deciding what comes next." The pedestal in the center glowed brighter. Symbols rotated faster, almost frantically, as if reacting to their presence. Then, a wave of energy shot from it, sweeping across the chamber. The crew was thrown to the ground, struggling to regain balance. The light wrapped around them, not harming, but probing, searching. One technician gasped. "It's reading us, our thoughts, our fears, our courage." Sorrel's hands clenched. "Stand firm. Do not show fear. Remember who we are." The holographic figure appeared again, larger now, its shifting form towering above the crew. "Civilizations have risen and fallen. Power without wisdom is fragile. You humans have potential, but it must be proven. What do you want from us?" Sorrel demanded, his voice echoing across the chamber. "A demonstration. An act of courage. A choice that defines your worth. Show me humanity's strength, or prove it is unworthy of survival." The crew exchanged fearful glances. No one spoke. The weight of the challenge pressed on them. They realized this was not a simple test. It was life and death, not just for them but for the galaxy. Suddenly, the floor shifted. Panels rose, revealing a smaller, hidden craft inside the chamber. It was sleek, black, almost blending with the shadows. Energy radiated from it, connecting with the larger vessel outside. The message was clear. The humans were to board it. "Sir, are we supposed to go in?" Taryn asked, voice trembling. Sorrel's jaw tightened. "Yes. This is the test. Humanity faces the unknown, and we face it head-on. No hesitation." The team moved cautiously, stepping into the smaller craft. The interior was compact but advanced beyond any human design. The controls responded to thought and touch, integrating with their minds. Every movement they made was amplified by the vessel, every decision faster, stronger, sharper. As Sorrel gripped the controls, the craft lifted, moving toward the exit of the massive chamber. Outside, the larger vessel seemed to acknowledge them, energy waves pulsing in rhythm with the craft's movement. Then, without warning, the vessel's defenses activated. Simulations of attacks, shields, and obstacles appeared inside the craft. The crew had to react instantly, navigating through holographic barriers and energy pulses that tested their coordination, courage, and decision-making under pressure. "This is insane," shouted Taryn. "It's like it's testing our reactions, everything we do." Sorrel nodded. "Exactly. Pay attention. Every choice matters." The craft moved with unnatural speed, dodging, weaving, and accelerating as the larger vessel continued its silent observation. The crew realized the challenge was more than survival. It was understanding, strategy, and unity. The vessel wanted to see if humanity could act as one, even under impossible pressure. After what felt like hours but was only minutes, the craft came to a halt at the center of a massive energy field. The symbols on the pedestal outside aligned with the craft, and a deep hum filled the chamber. The vessel's presence was overwhelming, pressing against every thought, every emotion. The holographic figure appeared once more. "You have shown courage, understanding, and unity. But the test is not over. Greater trials await. The galaxy will watch, and your choices will shape its future." Sorrel exhaled, feeling the tension release slightly. We survived, for now. But we have only scratched the surface. Whatever this is, it's far bigger than we imagined. Terran looked out the viewport, eyes wide. Sir, the larger vessel, it's not just a ship. It's a judge. A force that sees through everything. We barely understand it. Sorrel nodded solemnly. Yes. And now we know what humanity faces. We have courage, and we have each other. But we are only beginning to learn how to survive, and how to earn our place in the galaxy. Outside the chamber, the smaller craft pulsed in response to the larger vessel. It was a silent connection, an acknowledgement. Humanity had passed the first trial. But the crew knew the larger challenges were coming, and that each decision would carry consequences far beyond their understanding. Sorrel turned to his team. We move forward. We do not run. Whatever comes next, humanity will face it with courage. That is who we are. That is what the galaxy must learn. And as the chamber settled, the energy pulsed one last time, leaving the crew in tense anticipation. The galaxy's mask had cracked, and the humans had glimpsed the power that could shatter civilizations. The reckoning was not over. It had only begun. The small craft hovered at the center of the massive chamber, energy pulsing through every wall, every floor, every human nerve. Commander Sorrel's hands rested lightly on the controls, but his mind was racing. This was the moment they had been preparing for, though preparation could only take them so far. Sir, what happens now? Lieutenant Terran asked quietly, her eyes fixed on the glowing pedestal. Sorrel shook his head. We find out. Whatever this is, it's time the galaxy saw what humanity is capable of. Outside the chamber, the larger vessel responded. Energy waves radiated across space, brushing against planets, fleets, and stations nearby. But there was no destruction. Instead, the wave seemed alive, an immense, silent pulse of observation. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. The pedestal glowed brighter, symbols spinning faster, aligning perfectly with the smaller craft. The holographic figure appeared again, larger, almost real, its form shifting like liquid metal. You have shown courage, unity, and understanding. But the final revelation awaits. See clearly, and choose wisely. The chamber walls dissolved into shimmering fields of light. The crew gasped as scenes unfolded before them, not just images, but full sensory experiences. They saw planets rich with life, entire fleets in motion, and civilizations falling to corruption, greed, and arrogance. And then, they saw Earth. Not as it was now, but as it could be, strong, fearless, united. Humans stood not as observers, but as guardians. Ships of incredible design patrolled borders, soldiers trained for impossible odds protected colonies, and scientists and engineers pushed technology to levels no one had dared imagine. It was the potential of humanity laid bare. Sorrel's eyes narrowed. It's showing what we could become. If we are wise. If we are brave. The holographic figure's voice echoed, both in the mind and in the chamber. The galaxy wears masks. Civilizations hide behind appearances, treaties, and pride. Humans, you are different. You see beyond the surface. You act with courage. And now, you must decide how that courage is used. Terran swallowed hard. Sir, it's asking us to lead? To show the galaxy what humans are. Sorrel nodded slowly. Not to lead blindly. To act wisely. To teach others that civility is more than appearances. That strength without wisdom is nothing. A pulse of energy swept through the chamber. The smaller craft shivered, absorbing the energy and sending it back into the larger vessel. The bond between the two was clear now. The smaller craft had been a test, a measure of humanity's readiness. And they had passed. Then, a projection appeared outside the chamber. Ships across nearby systems received it, images, messages, commands. The vessel was communicating directly with the galaxy, showing every civilization the courage and potential of humans. The masks of civility were shattering everywhere, revealing weaknesses, lies, and failures. But in the center of it all, humanity stood tall. The projection showed humans making choices, acting with bravery, protecting those weaker, uniting colonies, and demonstrating intelligence beyond fear. Sorrel felt a surge of pride. "We've done it," he whispered. "We've shown them who we really are." The holographic figure shifted, becoming smaller, less intimidating, almost peaceful. "You have passed the trial. You have earned a place in the galaxy not through power, but through wisdom, courage, and unity. The galaxy will remember. And it will watch. But you, humans, have changed the rules. Civilization must now be honest, or it will fall. The mask has cracked." Outside, the smaller craft detached from the larger vessel. It hovered for a moment, almost as if nodding in approval, then shot away into the stars, disappearing like a shadow. The larger vessel followed slowly, returning to the darkness from which it had emerged, leaving the galaxy trembling, but alive. The crew of Clyra 9 watched in silence. Relief, awe, and exhaustion mixed together. They had faced the unimaginable, survived a test older than the galaxy itself, and emerged stronger. Sorrel turned to his team. "This is only the beginning. The galaxy has seen us. We've shown that humans are not to be underestimated. Now it's our duty to live up to that trust." Terran smiled faintly, though still shaken. "We survived, and the galaxy will never see us the same way again." Sorrel nodded. "No, they won't. And that is exactly how it should be." The observation platform shivered one last time as the energy faded. The stars outside returned to their normal twinkle, but something in space had changed. The galaxy's illusions of civility and control had been shattered. And at the center of it all, humanity had proven that courage, unity, and wisdom were forces that could not be ignored. As the crew of Clyra 9 looked out into the endless expanse, they understood the truth. The galaxy had always worn a mask, but now the cracks were visible. And if humans were ready, they could shape the future. Not through fear, not through domination, but through courage, intelligence, and unshakable resolve. Commander Sorrel exhaled, feeling the weight lift slightly from his shoulders. The trial was over. Humanity had passed. But the journey, the real journey, was just beginning. And somewhere, in the darkness of space, the vessels waited, patient, knowing the galaxy would remember this day forever.